Good evening, grade 7, and welcome back again to our class. And we are going to change tunes today and start talking about data. As we know that data is a very essential part in our current world. Actually, data is defined as the modern gold and oil. So let's look into how we can use data to plan ourselves and to predict some things, even though we won't go into prediction in this class, but at least should have the basis of how data is handled for you to be able to do much manipulation with data in your near future. So I'm going to start very precisely, and we're going to start with some few things. So why would you need to collect data? Okay, our lesson objective today is collecting data. Why would you need to collect data? Collection of data is very important, and they are collected due to some several reasons. One of the reasons you need to collect data is to answer some questions. For instance, you want to know how many cars do your family own. So you'll go around with a clipboard and then you start writing down the name of the cars. Actually, without knowing unknowingly, what you're actually doing is called data science. You're collecting data, and then maybe you'll start interpreting, you'll start getting some information out of this data, like how many of them were black, how many of them were green, how many of them were red. Okay, so many other questions can be answered. So many questions can be asked, and so many questions can be answered. The only way to answer this question and to make accurate, not 100% accurate, but to make almost nearly 100 or 90% accuracy is through good collection of data and good interpretation of data. Your ways and your methods should be very accurate, so that you can achieve highest possible accuracy level in your presentation of your data. So let's continue. So collection of data is basically to answer, the reason why we collect data is basically to answer questions. So data, but how can we collect data? We have just seen one way, walking around with a clipboard, then marking. That's one way of collecting data. So it's called a method of collecting data. We call it an observation. There exists some other methods of collecting data, some other methods, and we're gonna look into them one by one. One of the first method of collecting data is called a survey. Survey is a method of collecting data, and it's a very important method, survey. What happens in a survey is you just want to go to the person, to the people personally. Actually, survey involves person. You go to the people, we call them population. People who you are going to ask questions, we normally call them a population. You go to them personally, and then you start asking them questions. So survey is all about asking. You cannot ask an animal, you cannot ask a machine, okay? Yeah, also you cannot ask a factory at a certain in certain society. So you'll ask certain people. So survey involves asking questions personally. And forms of surveys are two. Questionnaire. Oh, this was supposed to be a questionnaire. I'm sorry about this. It's supposed to be a questionnaire. So spelling error there. Then interview. Okay. You can use a questionnaire or interview. Okay. So remember survey. You here, you go to your friend and you ask your friend personally. Hey guy, what's up? How many bicycles do you have at home? Okay. You go personally, survey. Okay. And interview, you go personally. Sometimes you give them a paper. If you give them a paper to answer, that is called a questionnaire. Okay, you can give them a paper. When you give them a paper to answer, that is called using questionnaire. Sometimes you ask them manually, that is called interview. That's it. Okay, let's continue to the next thing. Observation. Observation, you just stand on the road, you know, you are here. You just stand on the road, or maybe on a balcony, and then you watch cars passing by. And then you start counting them. Oh, that was black, that was blue, that was red. You know, you just stand on the road, or you just watch a machine working, okay? Observation, you look, and then you keep record, you record with your hand. You may be ticking, you may be having a clipboard in your hand here, and then maybe you're just ticking. You're just saying, okay, I've seen that car, I've seen that car, I've seen that car. That's what you call an observation. You use your eyes. Very important. Observation, you use your eyes and your hand. But here, you use your mouth so much here. You use your mouth, you know, and your ears, huh? Your ears. Okay, in a survey, you use your mouth. So what about experiment? Experiment, you use just your hands and your eyes, okay? An experiment is like lab, okay? You have to know, okay, you can, an experiment can be complex, by the way. It can range up to, you can use people as part of your experiment. But usually people, to your level, I want to keep it as simple as possible. I want to know, like, how many times the lift goes up and down, okay? Or let me not use that. For example, I want to go and see in a chemical reaction, okay? In a chemical reaction, maybe I'm reacting iron. My chemistry is quite gone a little bit. I'm reacting iron and oxygen. Okay, when I'm reacting iron and oxygen, what is formed? At what rate do we have? Do we form iron? It is, I think, is iron monoxide or iron dioxide. I don't know, but iron. So a product is formed. So you have two things. You control them, then you see the results. Okay. Another way to do this is maybe you want to go for a walk. Okay. You want to go for a mountain climbing. Let's say you want to go for a dune climbing, and you want to see maybe this person is Aisha, or maybe another person is Maya. You want to see who will go to the mountain very fast. Okay. Now they are arguing. Okay. They are arguing behind the playground, and we want to see who will reach the mountain higher. So the Maya and Aisha here are called variable of the experiment. And now we time them, okay? We check who will reach the mountain high very fast. This is what we call experiment. You know, an experiment, you must have a watch, you must have some details, you must have who you are controlling, okay? So another way is maybe a dice, you know? You're walking down the street with your friend from school, and one of your friends says that a bread that has been spread with butter, okay, will come down faster than a bread that has not been spread with butter. So you guys are arguing, and all of a sudden you say, okay, you know what, we want to prove this. So where you guys have reached and you say, we want to prove this, down there you're doing what we call an experiment. So an experiment is kind of a way of proving something. So, okay, it's kind of a way of proving something. So you two are going to take bread, another one spread, another one you don't spread it with butter. You throw them and then you time them, you see which one will come down faster. Okay, it's just performing something. That's what we call an experiment. But if you're just using your eyes, no hands, that's what we call an observation. Okay, so I hope you guys got this. I hope you guys got this. You know, you have something, you're controlling an experiment there. Okay, or maybe you want to know how many people go to lunch very fast during a certain days. You know, you can check. Maybe during Ramadan, people don't go out. You know, this is kind of an experiment, but the control variable there is a student. So, but this, because you're not controlling the variable directly, we can call that one observation. Okay, in an experiment, you must be there, controlling the variable. You yourself, you must be there. You are there. Maya is there. Aisha is there. They are climbing on the mountain. You can see them. Okay, you are there. You have the bread. You are throwing the bread up. Another person is throwing the other bread up. You can see them going up and coming down. Okay, you are part of the, actually you influence what is happening inside. That's what we call an experiment. On observation, you don't influence, you don't interfere, you just look. Okay, so that's the difference between observation. So observation, you just look. Experiment, you interfere with the system. Okay, and that is it. So we have survey. Survey, you ask questions. Experiment, observation, you look with your eyes. Experiment, you interfere there and then you get the results. Okay, okay, let's continue. So let's do an example here on EG1. Pick the best data collection method for the following. Okay, you want to answer these questions. Oh, I already put the answer. So, okay, what is the favorite? What is the favorite color? I think here it was supposed to be color. The favorite color of students in the whole class. You want to know the favorite color. Okay, maybe you want to know what color does maybe, let's say, Khalid love, or maybe, you know, Najma, what color do one of your students love? So you'll go and ask them, right? You'll go and ask them. That's what we call a survey. Remember, survey is associated with asking. Okay, so that's what we call a survey. Because you'll go and ask. For example, we want to know how many people love red. We will go and ask students one by one. So that is what we call a survey, because we are asking you, or we are interviewing you. That's called a survey. So how many cars pass in front of your school every 1 hour? Oh, this is very easy, because you just stand at the balcony there, maybe at the Mudira's office, or maybe you'll stand on top of the canteen. You know, you can, if you ask permission, any can be given. Or you can go to grade 6, and because I know grade 6 is next to the road, and just watch what is happening. So you'll see, maybe you can see, you stand there for 1 hour, and then you can see that, oh, after 1 hour, I've seen 20 cars. So, and that's what we call an observation. because you're using your eyes only, observation. Okay, what about how many times does a coin show head if it is thrown 5 times? Oh, this is an argument. Actually, my voice, sorry. Actually, an argument normally develop fast before an experiment. So you can see there is an argument. So we have a coin and it has got a head and a tail. So people can start saying, okay, some other guy will say, okay, I feel like head will show up so many times. Another person will say, I feel like tail will show up so many times. So what do, guys? We throw the coin up, we see how many times. We throw it up 5 times, we see how many times it comes up head and how many times it comes up tail. And that's, we record our result. And this is an experiment because we're interfering inside. We are putting our hands, we are making the variable work, okay? So there's something inside, we're interfering with it. There's a coin, it's not just seated, we are throwing it up. So that's what we call an experiment. So that is what we call an experiment. You are interfering with the system, an experiment, okay? And that is over. So we want to define some other things here, guys. A population. So consider, now we are done with the methods of collecting data. Methods of collecting data we are done. So now we want to define some other things. A population. A population is simple. You want to perform an experiment. You want to know how many people in Muscat. Okay, how many people do you have in Muscat, or how many people? What is the favorite car that people love in Muscat? Okay, so these people that you are talking about is what we call a population. Or for example, you want to talk about students in a school. You want to know how many of them, what percentage come to school in a certain day. Okay, you want to know. So you are talking about students. So that is the population. Okay. Okay. For example, maybe you want to know how many students eat pizza on Tuesday. That is the population. Okay, population of the student. Okay, population. I mean population of your experiment. So the population is just the group under study. Who are you studying? Okay, are you studying teachers? Are you studying students? Are you studying people in Muscat? Are you studying people in Oman? And this is what we call a population. Population is just a group of people that you are studying. Okay, it's just a place you're going to get your data. Okay, a sample. Let's go to a sample. For example, you want to know, let me check something that you want to know. Maybe you want to know how many men are colorblind, okay? Or what percentage of men are colorblind, okay? Or maybe you want to just know, let me pick something simple that seems to be harder. Let me pick something simple like, okay, let me pick, okay, maybe the ratio of boys to girls in private school, okay? What is the ratio of boys to girls in private school in Muscat? Oh, the population is people in Muscat, students in Muscat. So what you'll do, you'll not go to every school, start checking, you know, I'm checking what's the percentage of boys to girls in school. What you just do is simple, okay? You don't pick, you just go to one school or 2 schools, okay? And then pick the registers and then check. So these 2 schools or 4 schools, they will act as a representation of all the schools in Muscat. And this is what we call a sample. A sample is when you pick a small group to represent the big group, okay? For example, also, you want to know how many people in Al Khawair visit Avenue Mall. You will not go to everyone in Al Khawair, okay? You want to know what percentage of people in Al Khawair visit Grand Mall. You will not go to everybody in Al Khawair. You just maybe take some 100 people in Al Khawair and then ask them, do you go to Grand Mall? You'll find that maybe 50 of them are not going to Grand Mall out of 100. So you'll say, okay, if Al Khawair have got 1,000 people, then 50 out of 100 that I interviewed are going to Grand Mall. So I can get the number of people who are going to Grand Mall from Al Khawair. So you can say 50 out of 100 times 1,000, which will be maybe, so I'll try to pick this. Maybe Al Khawair here is 1 million people. I don't know if it's 1 million. Let me just pick another number like 10,000. 1 million seems to be a very big number. So instead of interviewing this 10,000, this is the population, okay? This is the population of study. This is your population. Instead of interviewing everyone in the population, you say, okay, you know what, guys? We just want the percentage of people going to the Grand Mall. So what we can do, we can interview 100 people. So you interview 100 people, and then you find that maybe 60. Let me use 60. It's a very logical number. 60 visit Grand Mall. Let's say Grand. And then out of those 100 that you interviewed, you find that 40 don't go. 40, no, they don't go anywhere. So your sample is 100, okay? Because you worked with 100 people, your sample is 100, okay? So this is your sample. This is your sample 100. So what do you, so actually you can go ahead and say maybe 60 out of 100 times this big number here, 10,000, to know roughly. It's just a rough, we're not saying a purposely very accurate. It's just a rough to know people who are going to Granmore, but this is not part of your class. So your class is just to know that a sample is a small size that you take to represent the big population. Why do you need to take a small size? Because you cannot go to every door, okay? You cannot go to every door. And then also another thing is it will waste your time, okay? It will waste the resources. Those are the two main reasons, time and resources, okay? Okay, let's continue. Generally, sample should be 10% of the population. Okay, what is this statement saying? If you have 1 million people in Oman, for example, you have 1 million people, and you want to conduct a study about Omani people, right? You cannot ask 20 people and then you say, okay, maybe you want to know what is the favorite color of people in Oman. Then you come and say, you take 20 people and then you say, you know what? I've known the favorite color of people in Oman. Just because 20 people told you we love red, you think that everybody in Oman loves red. No. So scientists say that you should take 10% of this. Whereby 10% of 1 million will be 10 out of 100. Remember, 10% is 10 out of 100 times 1 million. I hope those zeros are enough. Of those zeros, okay, which will be, you'll find that it will be 100,000. Okay, so you should go and visit 100,000 people and ask them, which color do you love? And then make a conclusion based on the 100,000 people. Don't take 20 people and then say you are enough. No. So scientists say that a sample should be generally 10% of the population. Okay, there's some other criteria used to pick a sample. We call them sampling, but we won't learn them here in this class. So what have I said? A population, everybody in Muscat. Okay, sample. We pick actually we pick a small size of the people in Muscat and then make a conclusion from them. But what should they be? They should be 10% of the big population. Okay, if the big population is 1,000, they should be 100. If the big population is 20, they can be 2. But also, I want to point out something before I continue, that you only use sample when your number is too big, when your population is too big. Okay, you use when population is, this should be too big. Too big. We cannot interview everyone. So you only use sample, guys, when the population is too big. What do I mean too big? Is 100 and above, okay? 100 and above, that's when you start using sample. When the population is of 100, you start saying, okay, I cannot interview everyone, I'll interview 10% of the population. That's it. Oh, let's do example 3 here. Example 3. There are this is 2,630 people in a small town. Ahmed wants to know their favorite footballer. What sample size will he use? We'll just see, because remember 2,500 is above 100, okay? 2,500, 2,600, I mean, 2,630 is above 100, okay? So we can use sampling. So instead of interviewing everyone, we can just interview 10% of this. 10% of this is this. This one will cancel this one, so it will be, okay, this will cancel this one, okay? So it will be 2, 6, 3. So you can go and interview 263 people instead of interviewing 2,630 people. You can see this will take him a lot of time. He will waste a lot of money walking around, he'll get tired. So instead of doing that, he can only interview 263 people. And that is what we call sampling. Okay, Ahmed is in grade 6 and he wants to know their favorite color. Okay, there are only 20 students. Which the only 20 students, will he use? There should be a full stop here. Will he use sample? Will he use sample or just the whole class? Remember, there are 20 students. These ones are less than 100. So he will interview everyone. Okay, guys. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy here. You must interview everyone. There are only 20. Come on, you cannot say I'm going to sample and interview 2 people. It will be crazy, you know, because 10% of 20 will give you 2 people. You know, you cannot do that. It's not acceptable. This is not acceptable. Interviewing 2 people, and then what if they give you green? Green? Would you say that they're all green? Everybody loves green? No. You must interview everybody in such a situation. There are very few people here. 20 students, very few. Okay, let me go to on your textbook, page 63, question number 3. I think you're not wrong, question number 3. Okay, question number 3 on your textbook, okay, 63. Question 3. Okay, a football team has 860 members in their fan club. The secretary of the club wants to know if the fan would like some halftime entertainment during home match. Give 2 reasons why the secretary should ask a sample of the members. Why should we ask? Because remember, we have 860 people. We cannot ask everyone, guys. This is more than 100. So that's my rule, thumb of rule. This is more than 100. So we cannot ask everyone. We will now sort to sampling. So we will pick a small group to represent this big group. But what is the size of the sample? We call sample size. How many people will we take? Sample size will be 10% of our population. Remember, this is what we call the population. Population. Okay, 10% of our population is 860. 10% of 860 is 86. So we'll ask 86 people, guys, okay? How many members of the fan club should there be in the sample? I've answered that, 86. And that is your answer. This one is B. This one is A. A is that sample. Answer is pick sample. Okay, pick small group of people to get. So, and that is it for today, guys. Until we meet again, I'm going to do another video for you on the next thing that we'll be studying here is data types. Okay, thank you very much. Until we meet again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay.